Fairlife, which is made by Coca-Cola, has cut ties with the supplier over investigations of cow abuse. Yes, apparently that is a thing. So, to start with, there is a group called the Animal Recovery Mission. I'm going to guess that they're probably a nonprofit animal advocate group, and they have found what they're calling egregious and frequent animal cruelty. And it was at two farms in Arizona. And I apologize, this is very harsh. So if you might want to cover your ears, but basically these two dairy farms were accused of, you know, basically not treating these cows well, that they revealed abuse that included employees and top managers, with animals being hit, dragged, whipped, shot, shoved, force fed, and chained. Now, these were all findings that were made public in a lawsuit in California, but they also are suggesting that Fairlife was polluting nearby waterways. So we have so much going on here. Now, so Fairlife has cut ties with this supplier. And, well, I should say Fairlife, they do not own farms, they do not own cows, they are a processor of milk. And the supplier that they use has cut ties with these two farms in Arizona. Okay. Now, what's a little bit hard to stomach is that this is not the first time that Fairlife has come up against some basically animal abuse allegations. Back in, let's see here, it was 2019, another supplier farm, actually two of them in Indiana, were also exposed for similar acts of animal cruelty, and Coca-Cola and other parties had to pay $21 million to settle lawsuits.
Yeah.
So, and those lawsuits were for falsely advertising that Fairlife ultra filtered milk came from humanely treated cows.
Right.
So it's interesting because Fairlife said it has invested, along with its suppliers, nearly 30 million in its animal welfare program. So apparently these two farms um, in Arizona obviously didn't take the training or get the memo that we're not treating cows badly. I guess Coca-Cola has learned their lesson because the two farms in Indiana, they didn't stop quickly enough. So at least this time they're stopping it fairly quickly. But the supplier that they use is called the United Dairymen of Arizona. And they've actually come out with a statement of their own saying that each of its farm members participate in a national animal welfare initiative, and that the group itself provides dairy employees with skills and knowledge on the proper way to treat animals. They said that they are shocked and saddened by the behavior depicted on recently released videos, and there is no place within our cooperative or in our society for the mistreatment of animals. Poor little cows.
Why you gotta be mean to the grass puppies? They're grass puppies. Like,
Like
really?
all I can picture is like the cute little cows with like the flower crowns on, and I realize those are not the same, it's not Highland cows that Fairlife milk comes from, but still, I mean, I don't want any animal to be abused. And
Well, cows in general are very docile. And so the
yes.
fact that you're mistreating such a docile animal is jacked.
Yeah.
Like, it says a lot about your character if you can mistreat something so.
So
I hate.
badly. And so on one side, I'm glad that Coca-Cola is stepping up, and at least stepping up quicker to say, if you do this, you're not going to be part of our supply chain. But the fact that this is the second time this has happened to Fairlife, you know,
I think it says a lot more about the systematic issues that exist. and that it's probably much more prolific than we're even aware of, sadly.
Well, and just like, so, you know, Fairlife or Coca-Cola, that owns Fairlife brand, they
Yeah,
don't own the cows. They don't own the farms. They have a network of farms in like each state that supplies the milk that then goes to their factories that, becomes Fairlife milk. And so, of course, Coca-Cola can't control the entire supply chain from baby cow to final milk product.
right.
But is this still one of those issues where if this was a smaller company, they would have more control from start to finish? But because Coca-Cola is such a ginormous, corporation, there's just no
Yeah.
possible way for them to have eyes and ears all along the way.
No, and that's it. Like, I think, and that's what scares me about how big a lot of the food companies get is like you have oversight, but how good is your oversight? It's
Yeah.
only as good until you start finding issues of real abuse and neglect. Like, but by that point, it's too late. You've already created an environment or allowed an environment to foster of animal abuse, and it was avoidable.
Well, and I'm sure that somebody from Coca-Cola is talking to the supplier, like the
No,
cooperative. But
right?
do you think anyone from Coca-Cola or Fairlife is actually going out to each of these farms and
No,
seeing what goes into the cows and how they're treated before they get milk? I'm sure they get like a yearly inspection where everybody knows it's coming and they're on their best behavior.
yeah,
But
100%.
both of these, the Indiana cases as well as the Arizona cases, came out due to videos. And nowadays, with everyone having a cell phone in their pocket, I mean, we don't even know if it was an employee who took the video or if it was
Right,
just, a bystander. And honestly, it doesn't matter. I'm glad that this came out to the public. But if we're basically waiting on user generated content to catch
yeah,
this is horrible. I mean, it
no,
comes back to the, if you see something going on, you have to speak up. But then are you then worried about retaliation?
right,
If an employee was like, "Hey, we shouldn't be doing this," now they're at risk of losing their job.
yeah. And then maybe, and in a lot of these cases, there's not, you can't just hop from farm to farm. Like
No.
it's, you've created relationships and these are small environments that are, pretty close knit. So like you really can risk your entire reputation for this. I think it actually came down to the the initials are ARM, but the name escapes me.
Oh,
Um,
you're talking about the animal recovery mission.
yeah, it came
That's
down to
the
them.
advocacy group that
Hmm.
was doing the investigation, which
Yeah,
I'm sure that they were um, brought aware of it due to the videos, and then they went and investigated further and found that they were substantiated, that it probably wasn't just a one-time incidence, because they even said that this was frequent and egregious and ongoing animal cruelty.
gross.
So tell us down below, are you shocked that this is happening in the dairy, farms that supply Fairlife milk? Do you think that Coca-Cola should have better standards or have more input into this? And what do you think the consequence for, basically animal abuse towards a cow should be? Because now I want to go look up and see what happens if you abuse a cow. What actually happens? Do you go to jail? So
I
let us
mean, I've
know down
actually,
below.